Students, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope everybody is having an excellent week. Welcome students. Hi Domenico. Hi Ariadna. Hi Parmar. Good to see you, Domenico. I hope you have been keeping well and pursuing your ambitions. Students, this is an IELTS speaking class. The focus of our part 2 and part 3 in this speaking interview will be a skill that you learned during your childhood. This lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites. They power these live classes, and premium students do get an extra 2 classes each week on Thursdays and Fridays. So tomorrow, this week, and the day after. And to sign up, it's really simple. You just go to our website, aehelp.com, click this big red button right over there. It is a one-time payment. You get lifetime access. Only costs about 30 to 50 bucks US. We are an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, and an IELTS test registration center. I'm a certified British Council agent. You're in great hands with us. For general IELTS students, it's the same idea with this green background at gieltshelp.com. I have pinned these URLs to the chat. I'm watching the chat here, and you can see at the top here the pinned message with an extra 10% discount. So go ahead and sign up when you're ready. And link the apps, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. Check out the Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. And if you still have questions, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Students, if you'd like to check out a really cool new Band 9 speaking video with a candidate, check out this video here. I'll drop this link into the chat. And subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, make sure you get notifications of when these classes are happening. All right, let's get right into the speaking. Everybody, this is speaking, so the idea is for you to speak. Hopefully you are in a place where you can use your outside voice, speak and repeat. Copy what I say, copy how I say it. For those of you who are newer to these sessions and you're wondering about my pronunciation, it's a West Coast North American accent. It's kind of the accent you hear in a lot of movies and TV shows on Netflix and so forth that are being made here in Vancouver or Hollywood. East Coast accent is actually very similar as well. So if you're on the east side of North America, you kind of hear a somewhat similar English. Central, southern US especially, a little bit different, okay, so students, the speaking is divided into 3 parts. The first and most important tip that I can give you is, again, go to your IELTS exam early. Show up like an hour before. I've had students say, hey, yeah, that really helped me. And students who didn't do it said, I really wish I had. Warm up before you speak with the examiner. It's not a good idea to not use your English before you begin the interview. So you need to do that. Okay, 20 minutes before you meet with the examiner at the exam center, you register, you show your passport, and then when you get to the interview, you show your passport again. So you go into the exam, the examiner will greet you, they will ask for your passport and your name. Make sure that you are really comfortable answering those questions, okay? And they will begin. They will say something like, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. This is candidate number 47321194, exam center 7Q9R1, examiner number 44218. Let's begin. And then they'll ask for your name, your passport again, and then they'll introduce the topic of part one. Now, part one could be on one general topic, like talking about hobbies or talking about everyday activities, or they could just ask you a few different kinds of questions, like in this case. You'll see we have a few different headings. So they might say something like, hey, let's talk about your hometown. Okay. We'll answer these questions together. I'll keep looking at the chat. I'll look at your responses. You can type your responses into the chat for now. Fairly soon, we will also start using Zoom in combination with YouTube to actually get into some speaking interviews with you. Okay. Welcome, Juan. Thank you for that super chat donation. Welcome, everybody else. Olivia, Manjot, Carolina, nice to have our chat moderator with us here today. Okay, so let's just jump right into these questions. Do your best. Don't be afraid of mistakes. That's how we learn. Let's talk about your hometown. Can you tell me about your hometown? Give an answer. Give explanations. Give examples. Don't overspeak. 2-3 sentences for each question should be enough. So, and think simple. Okay, so don't overthink it. Can you tell me about your hometown? I see some answers in the chat already. Fantastic. Be specific. My hometown of Victoria is situated on the southern tip of Vancouver Island in Western Canada, and has a population of about 700,000 people. It is famous for its beautiful nature and has lots of gardens and beaches for tourists to visit. Okay. Now, that's about it. You don't need to say more. Okay, so again, 2-3 clear sentences. Just kind of what would you tell somebody if you only had 2-3 sentences to say about your hometown? Again, students, this is speaking. So speak, copy, repeat. Okay. My hometown of Victoria is situated in Western Canada on the southern tip of Vancouver Island and has a population of 700,000 people. Try it. It is famous for its beautiful nature and has lots of gardens and beaches for tourists to visit. Okay, let's see what some of your classmates are answering, and I'll just give you a little bit of feedback here. So Amanjot says, I live in a small town. I live in, not but the, if you're giving the name Amanjot. I live in the small town of Tullaval. My house is located in the heart of the town with all amenities like shopping malls and grocery shops, which are a stone's throw away from my home. Amanjot, you kind of switched to talking about your home in your hometown. The question is, can you tell me about your hometown, not about where you live or your house, right? So you're kind of losing the focus there. Content is very important. Students, it's really important that you pay attention to the question and the subject of the question. The subject here is your hometown, not your house, right? So Amanjad, I would recommend rethinking that answer, because even without mistakes, this would only be about a band 6. I can only call it fluent because I'm not sure if you're memorizing answers for the IELTS or what's happening. It's not on topic, right? So you have to be careful with that. Okay. Jeffrey has this alternate answer for us. Jeffrey says, my hometown is Batam, near the city of Indonesia, located near a neighborhood in Singapore. It is located strategically and give benefits for export-import trade. Okay. It's got quite a bit of mistakes here, Jeffrey, so I would say that's only about a band 5 without fixing a lot of those mistakes. Okay. It's a bit confusing, your answer. It's on the right topic. You're talking about your hometown, Batam, but a little bit confusing as to where it is or what's happening there. Okay. So again, just be really careful. Okay. Situated and located, Alexander, these two words are synonymous. They're synonyms. Okay, so situated and located are synonyms, so you can use those interchangeably. Okay. All right, really nice answers. Olivia says my hometown is Bamenda. It is located in the northwest region of Cameroon. It is a vibrant city well known for its multicultural amenities. Like what? What's a multicultural amenity? On top of that, it's famous for its good weather. You don't need the word conditions, Olivia. Okay. Some nice answers, students. The idea, and this is an important tip here, okay, is when you're practicing, find your mistakes, correct them, and then say the sentence again with corrections. Okay, so tip: when you practice, identify mistakes, correct, and repeat. Okay, very, very valuable for effective learning and improving. Okay. Domenico says my hometown is Venetizzo Marina, a small coastal village located in Sicily, southern Italy. It has a population of approximately 1,000 people and is known for its beautiful atmosphere or peaceful atmosphere and beautiful beaches. Okay, very nice, Domenico. I would put an and before beautiful, especially in spoken English. Okay, good job. The examiner will ask another question, maybe something like, is it a good place for children to grow up? Okay, so answer that question. Of course, it's still with your hometown, and the IELTS is meant to be like a conversation, so it's meant to sound natural. You're going to hear these kinds of follow-up questions like, is it a good place for children to grow up? And again, be specific. So keep reflecting the name of your hometown. Yes, Victoria is an excellent place to raise children. It is quite popular for young families because it has lots of outstanding schools, and as I had mentioned, many parks and forests where kids can live or kids can enjoy the outdoors and stay fit and healthy. Okay. And then you could put an example in there, like my kids go on a hiking adventure at least once a week. Very true. In fact, I was just hiking yesterday with my 2 girls. Okay, so again, just repeat. So copy, match my speed, match my intonation, my pronunciation as best as you can. Yes, Victoria is an excellent place to raise children. It is quite popular for young families because it has lots of outstanding schools and, as I had mentioned, many parks and forests where kids can enjoy the outdoors and stay fit and healthy. My 2 girls go on hiking adventures at least once a week. Okay. Let's see Chatyana Kumar's answer here. Chatyana Kumar says, Of course it is, because Tirupati contains so many places, live museums, and some other things which can help to explore about study for children. Okay, there's a few corrections that are needed with this. Don't use of course it is. How is the examiner to know that, especially if they don't live in your town, right? So of course it is kind of awkward in this situation. If you're going to use that kind of expression, Chaitanya, I would say use most definitely. Like if you want to be very affirmative, students, but your listener doesn't necessarily know the information, then use this expression, most definitely. So say most definitely, because Tirupati, always capitalize your proper nouns, okay? So because Tirupati contains so many places, I think you meant to say like museums, and some other things, that has no value. So don't use that kind of language, because what does that even mean? Some other things. What are other things? Museums, and at least say something like other amenities. Okay, like historical sites. Okay, you always want to use better vocabulary than things. Students, I haven't said this in a while, so I'm going to revisit this tip. Avoid using the words things and stuff, as these replace better vocabulary and destroy coherence. Okay, always find a better word, not just on the IELTS, but every time you speak. But always, right? So always find that better word, students. Okay, so don't use that word things. It's taboo. Okay, so other amenities which can help to explore and learn for children. And then because you use other amenities, it's not specific, this is exactly when I would recommend adding some sort of example, like my kids or my cousins visited a historic landmark last week and told me a wealth of information about it. Okay, I'm not sure what the landmarks are in Tirupati, but that would be a good example. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Beyonce has a different answer. Beyonce says, definitely yes. My hometown is the best place for young people to grow up because people there are very supportive and always ready to help. Moreover, there are so many activities for young people to enjoy, like swimming, climbing, and playing sports, let's say. Okay, so just a little bit more Beyonce to get that really nice high mark with that. Okay, and then in some IELTS, so don't be surprised, students, if during task 1 the examiner doesn't just stay on the same topic. I'm sure some of you are like, oh yeah, when I went to IELTS they just asked me like different questions for task 1. It wasn't even all on the same topic. And yeah, that can definitely happen. So the examiner can switch between topics. That can happen in a couple of situations. One might be where they feel like you're sounding really rehearsed, like you tried to memorize certain answers for talking about your hometown or talking about your hobbies or something like that. And then The other situation is where, and this is a good one, where they feel like you're doing a really good job right away. So they're like, oh, this person is quite good in English. They're very comfortable talking about, their hometown. Let's see if they're comfortable talking about some other topics as well. So they might switch gears and just say, okay, well, let's talk a little bit about technology. What types of technology do you use every day? Welcome, Ghazi. Thank you for that super chat donation. That's super kind of you. So nice of you, both you and Juan today, just kind of stepping up and showing a little bit of appreciation. It's always very welcome. Thank you. Okay, answer this question, students. So what types of technology do you use every day? Keep it simple, right? This is where you can easily use, your mobile phone, obviously, as one. What comes to mind right away, because it's true, right? And these expressions need to be used accurately. What comes to mind right away for gadgets that I'm using day in and day out, this is a nice expression here for every day, are my mobile phone, my car, laptop, and kitchen appliances. I just used my microwave this morning to heat up a bowl of cereal. Okay? Or I should say warm up, because I don't heat it up. Just warm it up. Okay? So here we go. Again, just repeat after me. What types of technology do you use every day? Okay. What comes to mind right away for gadgets that I'm using day in and day out are my mobile phone, my car, laptop, and kitchen appliances. I just used my microwave this morning to warm up a bowl of cereal. Jeffrey has a different answer for us. Let's check that out. Welcome, Jeffrey. Lots of students in the class today. Great to see. So here we go. Jeffrey's answer. Use your capital, students. I always use artificial intelligence on my smartphone, like ChatGPT and Perplexity, to help me improve my IELTS speaking skill. Because it is cheaper and more affordable than a conventional course. Okay, good. Jeffrey, I think it's not bad. Like, that could be a band 8, sure. I don't know if it would be a band 9. I think with this question, you'd want to give a little bit more than just simply using a software on a piece of hardware like ChatGPT on a smartphone. I would probably add a little bit more. And I also use my e-bike to commute from school and work. So something like that. Then we could bump that up to a band 9, just showing a little bit more fluency, range of vocabulary. Even though you've got great, grammar and grammatical accuracy, still a little bit more, right? A little bit more. Okay. All right. And if you're doing a really good job, then the examiner might switch gears again and introduce another topic like food. Okay. Now, they might ask you just one question, like something like this. Have your eating habits changed in recent years? And by the way, students, I'm loving the chat and all the answers that you're putting in there. I'm gonna do one of these things. Technology is very broad, Juan. I agree with you, and so it's a good idea to kind of maybe give a little range, like a piece of software, a piece of hardware for school and work, and then maybe another piece of hardware for commuting or for transportation, right? Okay. So, okay, have your eating habits changed in recent years? All of these topics are really broad, students, so that's why you need to think quickly and you need to show a bit of variety, right? Now, this question, of course, many of you realized, hopefully, that this is present perfect. And you want to reflect that grammar. So, yes, my diet has changed a fair bit, as well as my eating routines. I have been eating healthier in the past 5-6 years. I'm eating more organic food, and I also find myself eating less, smaller portions for dinner and supper. Yesterday, for dinner, I had kale with some farm-raised chicken. Okay? So again, answer, explanation, example, and definitely reflect the grammar of questions, right? So if it's have your eating habits changed, then you want to reflect that present perfect. Yes, my diet has changed a fair bit, as well as my eating routines. I have been eating healthier in the past 5-6 years. I'm eating more organic food, and I also find myself eating less, smaller portions for dinner and supper. Yesterday for dinner, I had kale with some farm-raised chicken. Okay. Let's see what's your students or your fellow peers have. Vakar has this answer for us. Vakar says, I would say I used to be a child who preferred to eat fast foods frequently. However, it changed a lot recently as years go by. Vakar, you need to review your present perfect. However, it has changed a lot recently as the years went by, or as years went by, because they've already gone. Okay, so careful with the grammar there. Those are going to hurt your score, those mistakes a bit. Currently, and I would repeat some present perfect. Even with currently, you can use present perfect. Currently, I have been enjoying eating more conventional meals, which is cooked in my home by my partner. Okay, and then give an example of a conventional meal. Okay, without those corrections, Vakar, you're looking at about a band 5, I would say, depending on how you say it. Okay. Ghazi, let's check out what you have for us. Ghazi says, it has changed a lot over the last few years. I have a strict diet to sugar now because my blood sugar was over 7 in the last blood check. I would call that, instead of in the last blood check, Ghazi, I would say over 7 on my last blood work. It's called blood work. I wonder if that's one word. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it is. Yeah. Yeah. Spell check seems to say that it is. Blood work is when you go and you provide blood for analysis to check your health. Okay. So it has changed a lot over the last few years. I have a strict diet. To regulate sugar now, because my blood sugar, and I think blood sugar is like this. Blood sugar was over 7 on my last blood work. Furthermore, I eat a lot of vegetables and less fat to protein ratio, something like that. Okay. Now it's better. Again, so Ghazi, the idea is good, but on the IELTS students, don't answer with difficult ideas. Don't answer with difficult ideas, because it's much easier to make mistakes, and it's better to provide clean, coherent English than to use complex words but make a lot of mistakes and lose coherence. Does that make sense? If it does, can you give me a thumbs up? I'm looking at the chat, and that's a really important one, because a lot of people make that mistake. Some people make that mistake by accident because they're just trying to be very truthful and original, and some people actually make that mistake on purpose because they think that they need to use some really fancy words to get a high band score, so they use fancy words, but it's really incoherent or grammatically flawed. So for the IELTS exam, to get good band scores, keep thoughts simple. You don't need to say the truth. You don't need to say what's on your heart. You just need to give clear information. Okay, I see that Parmar's got a thumbs up and Abraham's got a thumbs up as well. That's really good. So yeah, that's kind of how you want to do it. Okay. All right. Okay, so when part 1 comes to an end, the examiner will say that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. And you can see part 2 here. It's called the long turn. It's 3 to 4 minutes. Closer to 3, and you get a cue card question like this. Okay. The examiner will say, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare. You can take notes in this time if you wish, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Is that clear? Then you can say, yeah. And then they'll say, describe a skill that you learned when you were a child. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, so you prepare. First step is you realize that here you're talking about an event. Okay, so something that happened. When you talk about an event, you should think about the location, the time, right? I'll put this in the chat instead of on the screen. So you think about the location, the time, the people, the activities, which kind of describes the event, and then the experience, right? So that's what you have to do. Yeah, might as well put it in here also. Okay. Because this is an event, right? And then you want to think about a couple of answers. And again, you want to think simple. So students, prepare your answer for this, because we're going to start with this today in the Zoom session. So what are some skills that people often learn as a child? Or skill, sorry, I should say. What are skills? What are common skills learned during childhood? Your brain should go to that. You shouldn't try to think again of some fancy skill that's really hard to describe. Okay, so Chica says swimming could be one. Yeah, and I think many of us have very good memories of learning to swim. Riding a bicycle. Domenico, playing music, but what kind of music? Like piano or guitar? So I'd be a little bit more specific there. So swimming, cycling, maybe piano. Rasham says cooking, sure. Ghazi says it could be drawing. Yeah, you want to be specific there. Or painting. Yes. Binance Moonpix says typing on the laptop. So yeah, maybe typing or touch typing. Right? Ghazi says maybe learning to play chess. Okay, those are all good. So get your answers ready. And think about all of these questions, what the skill was, who taught this to you, right? How you learned it, and explain how useful this skill is in your life today. Always pay attention to that last question too, right? Okay. Nobody told me my camera went to sleep. Everybody's getting really focused on the question. Okay. All right. Ibrahim, where are you? There I am. Hi. All right. So let's get going on this. So think about the answer to this cue card. And I'm going to set up the Zoom for you. I'll drop the Zoom link into the chat, students. Okay, there's the Zoom link. Everybody, we're still using YouTube. It's just that now you can also start your Zoom app, and then you'll be able to speak to me through Zoom. So I'll start this Zoom session. Again, use the link that I just dropped into the chat. I will continue using my video now that you can see me again on YouTube. And you can use your video in the Zoom chat. Okay. So join in. Okay. And we'll get going here in a second. I'll put my headphones on so I can hear you and hear what you're saying on Zoom. Okay. All right. All right. Students, put up your hand to volunteer. Okay, so if you'd like to volunteer and answer this question, just raise your hand. You can see that Alexander's hand is up and Raj's hand is up as well. Amanjot's hand is up. I'll let some more people into the session. And then we'll get some participants to join in. Okay. Let's start with Chaitanya. Chaitanya, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, sir.
How are you, Chaitanya?
Yeah, fine, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Chaitanya, are you ready to practice this part too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Then let me just, are you able to use your camera?
Sir, no, sir. I am in a dark room, so.
Okay, no worries. Okay, well, in that case, we'll get going here. And I'll start you off when you're ready. Begin. Here we go. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay, well, when I was a child, I learned the skill like swimming. because on that time my friends were always went to pool and they swam the pool. On that time I I am just sighing them, but I don't know anything about swimming on the time. So uh, I went to my uncle and he taught me how to swim and the techniques in the swimming. So I enjoyed to learning from him, and I learned it in a empty pool, which were nobody in there. So uh, when at my 10th standard, we went to a beach with my friends, school friends. On that day, one of my friend, he don't know how to swim. So when he entered into the beach and suddenly he got into the beach, so and I just get into the beach and I save him like that. So that skill used me there.
Okay, your 2 minutes is up. I'll stop you there, and we'll go on to part 3. Okay, that was a great effort. Okay, well done. And I could tell you're really thinking, you're focusing on the questions. So students, you notice that Chaitanya was really paying attention to what the skill was. It was swimming. He paid attention to who taught him this skill. It was his uncle. Okay, he paid attention to how he learned it. He learned it by going to a vacant swimming pool. And then he even focused on this last one. He mentioned that he was able to save one of his friends' life with this skill. So that was really good. So for your kind of task completion, and notice that these answers are, of course, very similar to what I said: location, time, attend these activities. So in that sense, you did a good job. So your coherence score or your task score is nice and high. It's like a 7-8. Okay. Your fluency score is a little bit lower. I would say your fluency score is about a band 5. Your lexical resource or your vocabulary score is also about a band 5. I would say your overall score for the speaking section would be about a 5.5 maybe. So just under fluent. Okay. What you need to do is just practice saying the same responses a few times. So you said, well, when I was a child, I learned the skill like swimming. It's not like swimming. I learned to swim. Okay, you have to be affirmative. So when I was a child, I learned to swim. And be specific, like how old were you?
Okay, sir. On that time when 13.
You're 13 years old?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when I was a child, I learned to swim at around the age of 13. Okay. So can you repeat that after me? Well, when I was a child, I learned to swim at around the age of 13.
When I was child, I used to swim at around age 13.
Okay. So you want to be specific like that. And you want to be careful with some words like empty. You definitely did not learn to swim in an empty pool, because that would mean the pool has no water in it, right?
Okay.
Right. So I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say like there are no other people in the pool,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you have to say that clear, because if you say empty pool, it's kind of a different situation, right? So
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, keep practicing, fix the mistakes, and then say it again. Okay, well done.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering. Okay, so that's about a band 5. All right, everybody, give Chaitanya a big thumbs up, and we'll practice with another person here as well. Okay. Let's try with Abraham. I think I said to Abraham that he'd get a chance this time if it's the same Abraham. Abraham, are you there?
Hello, Mr. Adrian. How are you, Mr.?
I'm good. Abraham, are you able to share your camera? Is it working?
Um, okay, I will share my camera.
Nice. Perfect. Okay, thank you. We'll keep you kind of right here next to the questions, and then I'll start you off. Okay, are you ready?
Sure, I'm ready, Mr. Adrian.
Okay, let's do it. So, describe a skill that you learned when you were a child. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
One valuable lesson that I learned when I was a child is ride a bicycle. To be more specific, I was about 5 years old when I lived with my uncle. I saw in the garage there is a two-wheels bicycle with 70 centimeters tall, 70 centimeters long, and 50 centimeters tall with 25 centimeters well wheels in radius. In the morning, when my uncle wanted to go to the farm, I asked him to teach me. It was quite challenging and difficult. It seems challenging and difficult, and it was. I couldn't manage my balance on the pedals and fell several times. Although I felt and injured my knees, I didn't cry and tried several times and tried over and over again. Finally, I could manage my balance on the pedal and could ride my bicycles 100 meters, which is a very exciting and very exciting experience. Since then, cycling is not difficult at all for me. And now I could ride my motorcycles, which is the popular transportations in my country, Indonesia. And in the future, maybe I will open a bike shop, which when I retired, which bicycle has a special memory for me. And in summary,
Okay.
I think that
Okay, your two
bicycle
minutes is
is
up. I'll stop you there and we'll go on to part three. Okay, very good. Abraham, I can tell that you really kind of thought about this and you're really paying attention to strategies. Your content is outstanding. Okay, so students, when you're thinking like, okay, well, what is a band 7 or like what is a band 8 or a band 9? Like, what is that good English? What is that very good English? It's a story. It's a story. It's a story that answers the question and takes the listener on a little 2 minute journey, right? And that's exactly what you did, Abraham. You took us on a little 2 minute journey of your experience learning to ride a bicycle with your uncle on a farm. And I was there with you. Like, I saw 5-year-old little Abraham pulling all his confidence together to not cry when he's scraping his knee, fall after fall, and then that huge victory of riding that first 100 meters and being like, this is the best thing that's ever happened since ice cream. It was an awesome journey, and that's what a band 7 to 9 has for content. So your
yeah.
content was great.
Yeah, the questions in my head that when I say the questions, I should using a timeline strategy. So I look at that it's the past, and then the questions goes to the present, and I think it's real great if I put the futures.
Yeah.
So it's a timeline. It's really exciting to share with our past, and then can flow our story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a narrative, and sometimes you see that the question's asking for that, right? Like, it asks you about a skill you learned as a child, and then it asks you of how this skill is useful in life today. So this question has that past present. The future, not so much. In all honesty, that's kind of when I felt like your story was starting to derail a bit. Was when you started to say maybe I'll open up a bike shop. I really liked it until the point where you said like now you're riding a motorbike, and obviously riding a bike is the first step to that. So there's not so much future here, but there's definitely past and present, and you did a great job on that, especially the past, right? Where the focus was. So the content was outstanding. The vocabulary was outstanding. So you used a lot of really nice vocabulary, qualitative, quantitative language. These are all band 9 for sure. I think your fluency a little bit faster for sure to get into the higher band range. So I think your fluency was closer to like 6-7 fluent English, right? Not super fluent, but fluent. And your grammatical range and accuracy were quite good as well. So I think you would easily score about a 7.5, maybe even an 8, depending on how hard the marker is on fluency. But I think you would definitely score somewhere between good to very good for that answer, no question. And I noticed you even corrected that part where instead of saying several, you said over and over again. Like you just showed that you have that different expression. So really, really good. Well done, Abraham. Well done. Great practice. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay. Abraham, I did see that your email about Test Glider. Test Glider students is on the website. It's extra tests that you can buy. I'm still waiting to hear back from Test Glider, so I'm sure they'll answer me. I'm not 100% sure what's happening with them, but yeah, but I'll let you know. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. It's okay.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Abraham.
You're welcome, Mr. Etienne.
All right, let's give Abraham a thumbs up. Really good. That's a great example of what this should sound like. Okay, let's take another volunteer here. Juan, why don't you chime in? I know you're on vacation and you don't get chances at this time so much, so let's give you a shot. How are you doing, Juan? You're still muted. There you
Hello.
go. Hi, Juan. How are
Hey,
you?
Adrian.
Hi.
I'm doing great. What about you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to vacation myself. By the way, on that note, students, I'll say this again at the end of the class, but we'll have less classes in the next 2 weeks because I'll be on vacation, Juan, coming this Friday.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Are you going somewhere?
It's gonna be more of a staycation. I'm gonna stay at home and do some work around the house, visit the local beaches. Victoria, where I live, is really beautiful this time of the year. People usually come here rather than go away to other places.
Right.
It's a summer tourist city for sure, no doubt. How long is your vacation? When are you off till? What's winter break?
Well, it's only 2 weeks, so the 21 I'll be back.
21st.
21st.
Yep, that's always a tricky one. Gets people all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21st. You'll be back. Okay.
I definitely have to review that.
It's a hard one. I find even the highest level speakers sometimes make that mistake. It just seems to really crystallize early in the English learning. But 21st, yeah, for dates for sure.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, I mean, this is basic like content, but in the beginning, I see that it looks really easy, so you don't really have. I mean, you don't really pay much attention because it's a bit boring. So yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but eventually you have to learn it.
Yeah, I agree. The devil's in the details is what we say. All right. Juan, let me start you off. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, describe a skill that you learned when you were a child.
Well, a skill that I learned when I was a child is how to drive. I learned it when I was 10. My father taught me this skill in the countryside, actually, because at that time he had a piece of land here in Patagonia, and a little house, and we would go there, and he would teach me how to drive with using his truck, a Ford 100, 1977, I think it was. So yes, I started using just the steering wheel, sitting next to my dad. Once I learned after a few days how to use the steering wheel, I started using the gear stick. And after that, I learned how to use the pedals, the gas and brake and the clutch. And yeah, after 1 to 2 months, I learned it during vacation days, during the summer. And I remember I felt great because I would sometimes, after I learned it, I would drive my dad when he had to go somewhere because he was tired. And I felt that I was kind of bringing something to the table, like collaborating with something with my family, for my family. Yeah, it was a great experience. And it's definitely a skill that I'm using today. I mean, these days, because I have to drive to work. Now I'm driving. I'm going to another city and I go in my car. So yeah, it was definitely important for my life in general. I also drive my sisters when they have to go somewhere.
Okay, your
And
2 minutes is up. I'm going to stop you there. Yeah, Ariadna's saying, wow, Juan driving at 10. That's what Ariadna says. But I'm sure many people have heard that, yeah, when you live in the countryside and the distances are so great, and in Argentina, they're like, in Canada too, I've heard
there was
of
no traffic.
yeah, there's no traffic, right? The worst thing is you'll hit like a gopher or a prairie dog or something like that. Hopefully not, but not too many people or other cars to be hitting. So yeah, it's the same. I mean, in Canada, the driving age starts at 16, but there are a lot of people in the prairies, in those big open areas of Canada. They're learning to drive at like the age of 6 and 7. So yeah. So Global Football is asking, is that a band 6 or a 6.5? No way. No, that would be at least a band 7. It's just very nice and fluent and put together, clear, with good description. So definitely higher than a 6 or a 6.5. In my opinion. You have nice natural fillers, and there are some mistakes. There's some mistakes with word use and so forth. Pronunciation mistake, just one that I want to correct here for you, Juan, is the word learned. It's learned. It's not, you kind of pronounce it a little bit awkwardly, like learn it or something. Just repeat after me. Learned. A skill that I learned.
A skill that I learned.
A skill that I learned is how to drive at the age of 10.
A skill that I learned was how to drive at the age of 10.
Yeah, very good. And you're definitely using some nice expressions. One expression I wanted to highlight for everybody is I felt that I was kind of bringing something to the table. What word is that expression replacing? Let's see if your classmates know it. It starts with a C. So this expression, everybody, kind of bringing something to the table. It's a very nice expression. It's an idiomatic expression. High level. I really liked it. What does it mean? It starts with a C. Amanjot says, bring the result. That does not start with a C, Amanjot. It's one word here. Can you tell us, Juan, what it means?
Contribution?
Yeah, contribution, exactly. So to contribute. Yeah, exactly. You contribute. No, it's not food, Domenico. You don't actually have to physically bring anything to the table. No, yeah, it's not the literal meaning of bringing something to the table. Yeah, there are a lot of idioms with the table, and they don't necessarily mean food, although maybe, Domenico, you're feeling a bit hungry. I don't know. Anyhow, that was a really good job, Juan. I liked it.
Thanks.
It was story-like. I don't like comparing between students. Abraham's was a little bit better structured, if I'd have to say. Yours was well structured, but not quite as well structured as Abraham's, but still a very good narrative, and a very good story. Like I literally saw you, Juan. I saw little 10-year-old Juan sitting beside Dad in this 1977 Ford truck, going across the Patagonian farm and holding the steering wheel and going, oh goodness, I hope this doesn't end badly. So yeah, that's
like
great.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was 100% there. It was awesome to see. So thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. Thanks, Adrian.
All right, let's give Juan a big thumbs up. That was really good. Very well done. Students, I'm going to start wrapping up the class there. We'll save part 3 for another time because I'm out of time. But again, for those of you who are premium users, you've got a reading class tomorrow and a speaking class on Friday. Okay. If you'd like to be a premium user and you're not yet, the way to do that is to sign up on our websites. Now, if you do that today, please send me an email so that I can send you the links for this week. You should get them next week through your email. Okay. aehelp.com, that big red button there, and gieltshelp.com, this big red button here. That's the way to sign up for... here are the URLs to become premium users, and of course you need to get the paid version, but it's not expensive. It's like 30 to 50 bucks. Yeah, so Vipam, it's like $30 US or $50 US ish, depending on where you live, and it's lifetime access, so you can get in on as many of these classes as you'd like for premium users. So really, really useful. Students, enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe think about learning a new skill or revisit some of those childhood skills that may have been forgotten. And have fun. Enjoy life. Enjoy learning English. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Much love to all of you wherever you are today. Bye for now.